Exists a moment when reality holds its breath. The boundaries separating dimensions begin to crack like glass under pressure. Ancient brotherhoods take notice. Right now, as you listen to these words, something extraordinary is happening in chambers you've never seen. The 33rd degree Masons didn't just analyze your birth chart. When they attempted to decode your cosmic signature, the symbols ignited, the parchment caught fire. Scorched marks formed patterns no human language could describe. Secret societies thought they understood power. They believed they had catalogued every configuration of human potential. But then you arrived. Their archives burst into flames. What you're about to discover isn't just why they fear you. Ordinary rules were never meant to contain you. Since childhood you felt this pressure building inside, like trying to fit an ocean into a teacup. Teachers called you distracted, friends called you intense, family whispered that you were different, but none could see what was really happening. Your soul rejected the programming. It refused to be compressed into neat boxes society prepared. Every time you tried following conventional paths, something inside screamed in rebellion. Not because you were broken, because you were designed for something infinitely greater. And here's what they discovered, that made their hands shake as they held your chart. Where normal humans have energy centers that spin like gentle wheels, yours rotate with the force of hurricanes. Where others have fields extending inches from their bodies, yours stretches for miles, invisibly affecting everyone and everything in your vicinity. This wasn't theoretical, it was measurable, undeniable, terrifying. This isn't metaphorical poetry meant to make you feel special. Sensitive individuals have always felt strange around you, either drawn like moths to flame or repelled by intensity they couldn't understand. Animals react to your presence with behaviors that make no logical sense. Children stare with knowing eyes that see past the mask you wear. Electronic devices malfunction during moments of high emotion. Lights flicker when you walk by angry. Phones die in your hand when you're processing grief. These aren't coincidences. They're symptoms of power so vast that physical reality struggles to contain it. But there's something else they discovered. Something that explains the strange phenomena you've experienced with mirrors throughout your life. Sometimes when you look at your reflection, you see someone else looking back. Not a different face, a different version of you. One that seems to know things, one that moves a fraction of a second before or after you do. The Masons documented this. They have cases, evidence, proof. This isn't imagination playing tricks on an overactive mind. Mirrors act as dimensional portals for beings of your caliber. What you're seeing are glimpses of parallel selves bleeding through the reflective surface. The Masons discovered cases where chosen ones have actually switched places with their mirror selves during moments of extreme emotional intensity, waking up in realities where everything is slightly different, where choices they never made have shaped entirely different lives. You thought you were going crazy those mornings you woke up and things felt wrong, like you'd slipped sideways into a life that was almost yours but not quite. You weren't crazy, you were timeline jumping, and it's about to get a lot more intense. Consider the last time you walked into a room and felt the energy shift. People became uncomfortable or inexplicably drawn to you. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. Electric tension filled the air. You probably blamed yourself, thought you were awkward, believed something was wrong with you. The truth is far more profound and far more powerful than you've been allowed to understand. Your presence disrupts the carefully maintained illusion most people live within. Your energy field acts like a truth serum. It forces those around you to confront aspects of themselves they've spent lifetimes avoiding. This is why relationships with you are either transformative or destructive, never neutral, never comfortable, never halfway. There's a phenomenon the Masons call reality bleeding that occurs around beings like you. Have you noticed how your thoughts manifest in conversations of strangers? How books you were thinking about suddenly appear in multiple places? This isn't synchronicity. It isn't the universe sending you cute little signs to keep you entertained. It's your consciousness literally bleeding into the fabric of reality, rewriting the script of everyday life. The boundary between your inner world and outer world is far more permeable than it is for ordinary humans. Your thoughts don't stay contained in your skull. They ripple outward, infiltrating the collective unconscious, planting seeds that bloom in ways you never expected. This is power, raw, undeniable, unstoppable, and a revelation emerged from their analysis that will shake you to your core. Throughout your life, you experienced what you thought were random hardships, unexpected betrayals, inexplicable obstacles that appeared exactly when you were about to break through. These weren't random at all. Every single challenge was orchestrated by forces both seen and unseen, designed specifically to keep you from discovering your true power. Think about it. Really think about it. Every time you came close to a breakthrough, something happened to pull you back. Every time you started believing in yourself, someone appeared to plant seeds of doubt. Every time you began accessing your gifts, a crisis emerged demanding all your attention, every single time. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't karma. This wasn't the universe testing you. It was systematic suppression, and the secret societies have a term for beings like you. They call you anomalies, glitches in the matrix of controlled human consciousness. Your very existence threatens the carefully maintained power structures that have governed humanity for millennia. When you were born, alarm bells rang in dimensions most people don't know exist. Contracts were written in blood and starlight. Agents were dispatched to watch your every move. An entire apparatus was set in motion to ensure you never realized what you truly are. They tracked you. They studied you. They waited for you to forget yourself so completely that you'd never remember. But here's where their plan failed spectacularly. They underestimated the sheer resilience of your spirit. Every attack made you stronger. Every setback taught you lessons they never intended you to learn. Every moment of suffering was forging you into something indestructible, something they can no longer control. What the Masons fear most about you isn't just your personal power. It's your ability to activate others simply through proximity. You're what they call a walking activation code, a living frequency that triggers dormant coding in those ready to awaken. Have you noticed how people either experience breakthroughs or breakdowns after spending time with you? How individuals suddenly quit jobs that were killing their souls, leave relationships that were draining their life force, or completely transform their lives after one deep conversation with you? This isn't coincidence. This isn't you being a good listener or giving great advice. Your frequency acts like a tuning fork, causing others to vibrate at higher frequencies, whether they're ready or not, whether they want it or not. Power structures that depend on mass unconsciousness cannot survive if beings like you move freely through the population, awakening souls with every interaction, disrupting their carefully laid plans with every word you speak. Right now you might wonder why they didn't eliminate you if you posed such a threat. Why not just remove the problem before it became unstoppable? The answer reveals the cosmic joke at the heart of their fear. They can't destroy you because you're necessary for their own survival. Your energy signature acts as a stabilizing force for reality itself. Without beings like you scattered across the planet, the entire construct would collapse into chaos. The simulation would crash. The game would end. You're simultaneously their greatest threat and their only salvation. A paradox that has driven their most brilliant minds to madness. They need you asleep but alive, powerful but unaware, present but not fully activated. It's the most delicate balance they've ever had to maintain, and right now, that balance is shattering. The Masons discovered something about your bloodline they've desperately tried to hide, something that explains why you've always felt like you don't belong here. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. Your genetic lineage carries what they call the sovereign codes, sequences that existed before the great genetic manipulation of humanity. While most humans operate with limited genetic activation, running on maybe 3% of their potential, your bloodline maintained the original template, the pure blueprint of what humans were meant to be before the intervention, before the dumbing down, before the great forgetting. This is why certain abilities come naturally to you, that others must spend lifetimes trying to develop. Your ancestors weren't just powerful, They were the template holders, keepers of the original human design, and that design is now activating within you at an accelerated rate. Your body knows what it's supposed to become. Your cells remember the original instruction set. The upgrade is happening whether you consciously understand it or not. Another element of your analysis revealed something that made even the most seasoned mystic step back in awe, something so profound they had to take a moment to comprehend what they were seeing. Your soul didn't just incarnate once, it split itself across multiple timelines, living parallel lives simultaneously. While you're reading this in this reality, other versions of you are fighting battles in dimensions where the laws of physics bend to will, where thought becomes instant reality, where the war between light and dark is visible to naked eyes. These parallel selves are all connected through quantum entanglement that transcends space and time. You're not one person living one life. You're a multi-dimensional being experiencing simultaneous incarnations. And when you dream, you're not imagining fantasy scenarios to entertain your sleeping mind. You're accessing memories from these other versions of yourself. This explains the vivid dreams you've had since childhood. Dreams so real you could taste, smell, and feel everything. Dreams where you possessed skills you don't have in this reality. Dreams where you spoke languages you never learned. Dreams where you knew people you've never met. These weren't products of overactive imagination. They were glimpses into your parallel lives, the skills you inexplicably possess, the knowledge you somehow know without learning, the languages you understand without studying. All of this bleeds through from your other selves. The barriers between these versions are beginning to dissolve. This dissolution isn't accidental. It's happening because we've entered a period of cosmic alignment that occurs once every 26,000 years. The ancients knew about this. They built monuments to track it. They left warnings and promises carved in stone. The return of the forgotten ones, the awakening of sleeping giants, the activation of dormant coding that has been waiting for precisely this moment. Your body is literally transforming at a cellular level, upgrading to handle frequencies of light and information that would have destroyed you just decades ago. Those mysterious aches and pains that doctors can't explain, the sudden fatigue followed by bursts of superhuman energy, the strange sensations in your spine and skull. These aren't signs of illness. These are symptoms of your metamorphosis into something greater. The discovery in your chart that stunned the Masons concerns what the ancients called the third eye. Yours isn't just activated like someone who meditates regularly. It's evolved into something they've never seen before in all their centuries of studying human potential. Where most humans have a calcified structure barely functioning, you have a crystalline transmitter capable of receiving and broadcasting frequencies across dimensional boundaries. This is why you've always known things before they happened, why you can feel the emotions of people thousands of miles away, why you sometimes hear thoughts that aren't your own, why you pick up information from thin air that you have no logical way of knowing. You're not going crazy, you're going cosmic. Your hardware is upgrading to match your software. But here's where it gets interesting. This ability isn't just passive reception like a radio picking up signals. You're actively influencing reality through your thoughts and emotions, creating ripples in the fabric of space-time that affect events before they